Hi, friends. Welcome to Getting Your Real Estate Life Together. This is Tracy Hicks with All Things Real Estate. And today I have Elisa and Lettely from Florida. So hopefully our connection stays good because last time we had a little storm action going on that caused us to redo. But that's all right because practice makes perfect, right? Hello. Lettely.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so there's 3 of us on a Zoom call right now, you guys that are listening to the podcast. So sometimes it gets a little like, who's going to go, who's going to talk. So we're just going to wing it. But Lettely, I want you to introduce yourself and tell me about the team action that you two have going on. And then Elisa, I want you to give your intro.
Well, good afternoon, Tracy, and good afternoon, ATRE team. We absolutely love you guys over there. My name is Lettely Foster. I'm a residential real estate agent in South Florida with Hamilton & Associates Real Estate Firm. Been there for about 3 years and a couple months. Prior to being in real estate, I worked in the banking industry. I worked for 2 of the top credit unions in South Florida. And my most recent one, I worked as a branch manager. So absolutely loved my credit union experience. I still have some connections there. I'm actually the preferred realtor for one of those credit unions. So I get to still see my old members, and that means a lot to me.
Yes. And we're definitely going to talk about that. So don't let us forget about that because I want to talk about how you can build business off your previous jobs because that's so important in becoming a realtor. So don't let me forget to mention that.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, I absolutely will. Other than real estate, I'm a full-time mommy. The kids are, being homeschooled right now. And yeah, that's been quite interesting. Thank you, COVID.
Thank you, not thank you.
You know what? No, thank you, not thank you. But you know what? I'd rather have them home and safe, and we'll just wait it out until 2021 and send them back.
Right.
And Elisa and we partnered up together. I want to say this year, actually. But we've known each other since real estate school. We attended real estate school together at Florida Gold Coast. So I'll turn it over to Elisa now. That way she can introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her family and everything.
Good. Hi, Elisa.
Hey, Tracy. Thank you again for having us. So my name is Elisa Dieme Erlich. I am born and raised in France, Paris, and I've been in Florida for about 15 years. I was brought out as a full ride scholarship in track and field. From there, I went into the sports and entertainment industry for the past 13 years. And with COVID, everything that went on, I decided to go full speed in real estate with Lettely.
Yeah.
So that's been doing great. Other than that, I'm also a mommy of 2 little boys that are 5 and 3. So I have a full busy home.
Yeah, you do.
Other than that, yes, like I mentioned, I was in finance and accounting for a couple of years, which helped me a lot in bringing some experience into my real estate business. And it's been great to partner with Lettely. And we've been, like she mentioned, met in real estate school.
Yep.
And partnering, we have a lot in common. We're both French. She didn't mention it, but she's born in France as well.
I was going to say that Lettely, even though
I forgot.
Florida stole your accent, but yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've been here since I was 3. So yeah, that accent's long gone.
There we go. Well, my accent is still very strong in here, but so we know we have the Frenchie over there. But yeah, that's about that for me.
I guess we'll just start where you guys mentioned that you met in real estate school, which I think is really cool because most people, first of all, I didn't even know that still existed where you could actually go in person and go to real estate school because everything's so online.
Yeah.
And, obviously you're in Florida, we're in Oregon, everybody, each state does their real estate stuff really differently. But is that a common thing in all of Florida that it's like online and in person, or like, how does that work?
Yeah. Well, actually, Florida Gold Coast, they're one of the top real estate schools. Shout out to them. They have several locations, including South Miami, Broward County, and they're also in Orlando too. And they've been around for like over 20 years. So yes, it was normal for them to have in-person classes as well as online courses too. But now, thanks to COVID, thanks but no thanks, but
Right.
in order to accommodate everyone's schedule, now they do offer live streaming. So if you go on their website, now they have 3 options where you can do the live streaming class online or in person. And of course, they do respect the COVID guidelines.
Yeah.
Classes. Yeah.
Prior to that, I believe for the 45 hours, I'm not sure if you know Lettely, but I think it's all in person for that first phase, and then the renewals can be done online. Yeah. So I think it's pretty common for everyone to go in person for classes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I love it because first of all, it's kind of like, well, you're building connections, and it's so important to do that right in the beginning when you don't know anything about real estate. It's scary. There's all this information that you're just getting inundated with, and having somebody to like talk to about that when you're online. I know you can like chat with people and stuff like that. It's just not the same. So I can imagine. And then also you guys are a perfect example of, you both went to different brokerages, right?
At first we did. I joined Lettely about a year ago. Right. I started with another broker, and it made more sense for us to be together, so I joined in.
So did you guys stay in touch during that whole time, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We've been in touch from Lettely? Just about 3 years since you started. We've been talking from the beginning.
Pretty much since we finished the class, we exchanged phone numbers. I have to say our group was pretty interesting because we had a really great instructor, and it made a huge difference because we met other students there that had other professors, and they weren't really as close as our group was. Shout out to our instructor. His name was Dan Coco. I believe he's still there actually. He's like great. One of the original employees there or something like that.
Sounds like real estate.
Yeah, but it's so funny because I think out of everything, the way he explained scenarios, although they were all in theory form, the stories that came with each and every one of his examples is what helped us pass, not only the class, but the state exams, because we were able to really just, portray that example and then the story and put it together, and was like, oh yeah, Dan Coco said, this and this, and that's what helped us personally. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. That's what really helped me.
No, that's true. Very true.
Yeah, but he was just so wonderful.
Yeah, the relate exactly what you said, Elisa, about being relatable, and also putting some of that stuff that you're learning on paper or whatever into like real life scenarios. Obviously, real estate is just full of stories and experiences and learning. I mean, I've been in the business 17 years and I still learn stuff. Wow. I had something last week where I was like, oh my gosh, that's never come up before, because every single deal is unique in itself. So there's always going to be something. And whether you've been in the business a year or 20 years, there's always going to be something that it's about interpretation too, of course. And we're dealing with human beings. Yeah. So
this is true. I have to say, one of my initial transactions was a probate deal, and believe it or not, there were seldom, like really small amount of people that I knew that actually had a probate deal in the 15, 20 plus years that they were in real estate. And now apparently I'm like the go-to person for probate because I've had several since. And I've made connections with attorneys in Broward County as well as in Miami-Dade County to help with those files. So it's been a good experience. I was actually able to also network with funeral directors. I actually have one of my bigger partners is a funeral director, and they do send me quite a bit of business. So wow, it was a good experience.
Yeah, talk about finding your niche without even looking for one,
Isn't it was your first deal, Lettely? That was your probate was the very first one you had.
No, actually, not my very first one. One of my first listings, yes, but not my very first deal. Yeah.
I'm sending all my probate to Lettely. Not a lot of people want to take them for sure. you have gained a lot of experience.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing. Not a lot of people want to take them. And I learned through going to like the trainings and talking with other realtors, they don't like them because of the time that it takes. I mean, that probate deal, it took 3 years to close,
Wow.
and this was 3 years of going to trainings, talking to other attorneys. Throughout that 3-year period, believe it or not, we had 4 attorneys. Like every attorney that my client had, they either dropped the file or they were like, yeah, we're leaving. No, thank you.
Wow.
After months of dealing with us.
Yeah.
That was very frustrating as well, but I held their hand throughout the entire 3 years and we made it to the closing table. I have to say, yes, patience is my middle name. If you go on Google and read my news, that's one of the main words that's on there, patience.
Right. Well, and look, you just created a story.
Yeah.
Just what we were talking about. And it's all based on experience and how, how you handle things and how things happen. There's just so much to be learned in every single deal. And also what a great referral business. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you mentioned a funeral director. I have to ask because I don't think I've actually talked to anybody who has a relationship or who does business with, and that is so smart and probably a little weird at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but tell me how that happened and like how do you foster that relationship without feeling weird?
Yeah. So going back to my credit union relationships, actually, Wilcox Funeral Homes. So the funeral director, they're also the owner of the company. Her name is Miss Carolyn. And I met her when I worked as a branch manager at the credit union. And when her business opened up in the same plaza where my branch was located, I used to go around the plaza like every Monday, every Tuesday, and just pass out flyers about our credit union and the business account services that we offered. And she was actually one of the business account holders at the credit union. So I always kept that relationship even after I left. And while working at the credit union, I also dealt with deceased accounts as well. So I kind of had a little bit of a background with that too. So she kept my number. I kept in contact with her. And when I got into real estate, she was one of the first persons that I went over and I said, hey, I'd love to network with you and send business your way and vice versa. And I created an entire flyer and package for her to put into her sales folder when she comes across families. So when she has families that come in and they are going through an unfortunate situation, one of the least things that you want a family to worry about is their home and what's going to happen to it. It definitely does take patience, not only that, but it takes a lot of character and empathy. Dealing with family and empathy. And when you're dealing with a situation like that, I personally do not take it lightly, not one bit. And Ms. Carolyn has recognized that. That's how we built that relationship and that partnership. And it's been great so far. It's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to switch gears because Elisa, this happens a lot with new realtors. Obviously, you got to figure out where you're going to go and hang your license. And, you do interviews and talk to realtors about where they've gone and, where the best fit is for you. And a lot of people go somewhere and then make that change, within the year or a couple years or maybe even 3. But talk to us about kind of how you made your decision to go where you went and then made your decision to leave where you were.
Sure. My entrance into real estate was a little bit different because I did have a full-time job in finance and got my license to help exclusively family and friends.
Okay.
So it wasn't nothing about the volume or anything. It was really just to have those exclusive relationship with that group. So a good friend of mine was a broker, and he actually got me into getting my real estate license. And when I got it, that was the natural thing for me to just go right under him. And still a great friend of mine today. But I just he had a small boutique office as well. That was just him. I had another agent and myself. And I was just looking to build more relationship. And of course, Lettely and I, throughout the years, were, had that connection. So it was more natural for me to join where she was and make it easier to share listing together, do our marketing together. I mean, it has a lot of, we've been working well together. So that was the decision for me. But I do know a lot of story of agent going from brokerage to really find what they're looking for. And it can be support, technology. I mean, depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that was that for me.
You have to love where you're at too. You have to, company culture, you hear a lot more now than you ever have before. I think people always kind of made their decision on that, but it wasn't maybe the top priority. It was what you said, maybe the technology or the marketing that they had to offer, or maybe the principal broker and the person, the reason.
And I was going to say that was a big part of my decision too. Our broker is just amazing, full of information. She's been in the game for, correct me if I'm wrong, lately about 25 years, 22, 23 years.
Wow.
And very, she's just making it a family office, always there for us. And that meant a lot to me. And she's a woman too,
Yeah. Yep. And I think too, it's not even just about it being 2020. I think that, that is something that you have to feel good about. And as women, it's not like we're setting ourselves apart from men, but we are, because we're moms. There's, usually families and kids involved and households and all that good stuff. And it's not to take away from the guys. We know that they have all that too. But us as women tend to, for whatever reason, take all that stuff on and at least be the organizer of it all. And that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
It definitely is.
I was going to say too, I was doing deals prior to joining that brokerage. Our broker also have the mortgage company, and I was doing my deals with her. So I was very familiar as she was working and things like that. And having everything in the house is really great. Yeah. And for me personally, I want to say 90% of my deals are done in-house, which make it seamless and have that contact that you can talk to throughout. And really important.
That's really different for us, because I want to say, I know California does that too, where realtors can also be mortgage brokers or vice versa. I can't remember, but Oregon doesn't do that. So that's really foreign to us, that there's a mortgage company and a real estate company in the same. And it's kind of like doing a dual, being the listing agent and the buyer's agent on a deal. So I can imagine that, as long as you're ethical and all that good stuff, I don't see obviously there isn't an issue. Florida does it and a few other states. But I wanted to go back to kind of talking about the decision of, you moving, and then also the families and all that good stuff. And Lettely, that was one of the reasons why the two of you partnered, correct? So that you could also share in the business and then share in, being able to have time away and taking care of other things and not just working 24/7, but having that extra help. So how do you guys structure your business? Like, how do you do your own deals too? How do you decide which ones you're going to, how does that work?
Yeah. So when we decided to get together, we did speak with other team realtors, that are together. We spoke with top producing agents. We spoke with individual ones, just a few people, just to kind of get an idea of how they partnered up. And we figured what was best for us was that, any deals where, let's say, for example, I've known the family, or Elisa's been working on the family for years, we just didn't think it was fair to share that.
Yeah.
Only because, she could have been working on these leads for a while and putting a lot of effort into it. So we just didn't think it was fair to, to share that. And not only that, but I've been doing real estate full-time for 3 years now. Elise is just becoming a full-time agent as of recently. So I wanted her to, to build as much as possible on her end as well. And we thought that was pretty fair. Another thing too is, although we do market together, so any new leads that we get where people see our ads together, those are the ones that, we talk to each other about to possibly share or list together or anything like that. And then on terms of the buyer side, the buyer's agent, we pretty much help each other out in terms of, like, let's say, for example, I'm busy or Elisa's busy with other clients and she needs help with the showing schedule. We rely on each other. Hey, can you help show this person on this Saturday? And I've got this other person between like 12 to 2, and this one wants to go at 12:15. So it's been really helpful that way. And then there are also other agents in our real estate firm that also, offers their help too in case Elisa and I are not available. So it's really a seamless, I would say, partnership. Nothing in writing, nothing too heavy. We keep it pretty light around here, just to make things as easy as possible. And it's been smooth sailing so far. Elisa, was there anything that I missed?
No, it was perfect. And I mean, I have to say that Lettely always kept me involved over the years. Again, I don't know, we're doing a lot of voice note together, always kept me involved with her deals. So, we always know what's going on in each other with each other clients. So that's very helpful.
Yeah, that's pretty much how our friendship started, to be honest with you. We never really spoke live over the phone. How odd is that? How odd is that, right? It was never like the typical pick up the phone and dial the number. WhatsApp is our number one way of communication, just sending voice notes every morning, like her on their way to work and me on my way to school or to appointments, just listening to voice notes, responding when we can, listening to when we can. And it's great because it's, you're not forcing that person to be on the phone, to pick up your call. You can just leave a quick note and they can listen and respond, when they have a moment.
We have long notes as well. Sorry to interject.
Yeah, the notes sometimes can be long, especially if we're having a rough day. It can go from 9 to 20 minutes. I think the longest we had was 25 minutes one time. We're like, so sorry, girl. It went over today. but it's okay.
We have a podcast. We definitely have a podcast on voice note Lettely.
Definitely. We've even spoken about doing that too. But we definitely have an ongoing audio message.
That's awesome, because I know also some people use Marco Polo. I don't use that, but it's the video.
I've never heard of it.
Talkie walkie, right?
It's like a Snapchat, but video. I don't know. But you send each other. It's basically you send each other notes, but it's you. It's your face. It's a video.
Oh, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know. We don't always look video presentable.
Right. Exactly. Since we're talking about kind of systems and technology and, you use WhatsApp, what else do you guys use in your business for your CRMs or keeping track of things? What do you guys use in your business?
So we are tried a system that's called Lion Desk, and we looking in transitioning into something else. We talk to different partners. Not to name them, but
to be determined.
To be determined.
Exactly. It's a lot of implementation to do, so you have to be sure to which partner you're going with. We're using that, but pretty much Lettely, you can pick back up on that. But we use a lot of we're very simple and old school. We're trying to implement the CRM, but Excel sheets, boards. This is my best friend, my notepad.
We've all got the notepad.
You got to have a notebook.
Exactly. And I think it's whatever you're comfortable with. I know a lot of agents using different platform, and eventually I think we'll grow from that. But we're very simple, But lately, I have to say, I've had months in a row, couple of deals going on at the same time, and I'm always blown away about our organization. And I think that's your strong suit on that, keeping organized. I don't know how she does it. But she has 5, 6 clients at the same time, and she just make it work. So kudos to you on that. I'm learning from that.
Thanks. I like Elisa said, we're pretty simple. I'm using Microsoft Excel for the most part with the CRMs, and also our Miami board, they do have platforms on the matrix that we can use too, that I I've been using, and it's been pretty successful.
Yeah.
I would like for us to, finalize like a decision on the CRM. I think that would definitely help, like when it's birthday times and things like that. Because what else helps me? Like Facebook helps me. Those reminders when it's someone's birthday. Oh my God. Let me tell you, they are lifesavers. Okay. Lifesavers.
Yeah, totally.
So, but I definitely use those opportunities to send a quick, handwritten note to say like happy birthday and, and so forth. And yeah, that's pretty much what we've used so far.
There's got to be a CRM that incorporates Facebook somehow.
Can you share with us what you're using, Tracy?
So I don't use anything anymore because I'm not practicing.
Gotcha.
But I will tell you that I also was one of those slap my hand realtors that did not have a CRM. And it was one of my biggest regrets because it took me, I guess it was probably 7 or 8 years into the business. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have everybody in one place. So I just did a Google Doc and pulled everybody out of my phone and out of my emails. And I'll be honest, I did it. And then I didn't do anything with it because it just wasn't my thing. And I felt like I definitely could have done better at keeping in touch with people, but I'm a text messenger. I'm on social media quite a bit. So Facebook messaging, posting on each other's walls or commenting or whatever, staying in touch that way. I also feel like that was a crutch for me because I felt like I was doing something, but not everybody back then was on Facebook. So definitely think being a realtor now, I mean, it always has its pros and cons no matter what year it is, there's always going to be, but the bottom line is just like you said, Elisa, it's got to be something that you're going to use and that works for you. Otherwise it's just going to sit there and you're not going to use it. So, but finding something just like you said, thank goodness for Facebook, having that information pulled in or at least reminders or whatever. I think, obviously Facebook is a huge part of our world now and it just is what it is. And so, you either embrace it or you don't. And there's still a lot of agents.
That's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot. The social media, I have to say, I tell Lettely all the time, I am very involved into Instagram and my business page is my personal page as well, but it's a full-time job.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So let's talk about your social media. Nice segue, Elisa. Okay, so social media is always just a thing for people, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, and then also the business and the personal. So being, a team or being partners, how do you guys handle your social medias? Do you have one place or do you have a business one and then you each have, how do you guys do that?
Go ahead, Lettely.
Sure. I will start. So I have a business Facebook page that I started in 2018. And I pretty much did everything on there, from like announcing when we were going to have a home buyer seminar to, just posting, information, market statistics, anything, on there. And the page grew quite a bit. And now it's at about like 1,400 likes.
Mm-hmm.
So so it did great, and thank you. And then in 2019, I started an Instagram account, and then maybe like 3 weeks into it, I developed a stalker. So I quickly hopped right back off.
Right.
I pretty much just closed that account. I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. Right. I ended up having to go to court for the stalker and everything, got a 3-year restraining order.
Oh my God.
So it was a bit creepy. So my business page consists of business only.
Right.
I do not really post pictures of my children, of my family, nothing like that. Maybe from time to time, like on my stories, but it'll be like for my close friends on my stories.
Yeah.
I think that experience just really did a number on me.
Yeah.
So then in 2020, I kind of put my fears aside and I said, I was like, okay, because Elisa was always sending me things on WhatsApp and she was like, yeah, you have to like go on Instagram and there's so many things on there, there's great opportunities. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go. And I just had a really good prayer. I was like, God, please keep the crazies away from me. Okay.
Right.
Away astray. So yeah, so I started back the Instagram account in January of 2020, actually.
Yeah,
and it's been doing okay. I kind of got a hang of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel a little confused, like right now, this new update that's on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? I just learned the thing and now I have to relearn it all over again.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me in social media. But I think I like it in a sense that I can engage, with potential buyers and people actually do reach out to me on social media, surprisingly, for information about maybe a listing that we have or opportunities. So it's really been a great opportunity. I'm still learning, definitely learning about, social media for sure.
But you have Elisa, who is a social media marketer.
Oh my God, that's a big word.
And that helps. Yeah. So Lisa, how do you do your page? Like, do you also have a business page? And also here's another question. Like a lot of times, if you only have a personal page, do you also post business stuff on your personal page?
Okay. Yeah. We do. So that's on my page. So I was not a social media person at all too. I had a thing with posting family and I had like a page, but I was really not going on there that much. And my husband needed for, business reasons, starting using his social media, and people will go and interview and find it weird that he has 2 children and a wife and we never see them on social media. So that's how changed the dynamic around social media. And I started, I say, okay, you know what? I started January of 2019. So
funny.
And then I start putting my kids and praying, like, Lettely experience, just praying that nothing happened. It just included my business on the real estate, but also included my kids. And I wanted people to see who I was. I'm a mom first. And I'm a businesswoman as well, and a mix of everything. So I kind of have a sequence that I'm kind of going away from now.
Yeah.
But a little bit of real estate, some family stuff, and just that people see what I'm about and who I am. And it's been working really well, actually.
Good.
I think people want to relate to you in some ways. But I had debated, and we talk about this with many times with Lettely. Do I want to create a business page? I do not have a Facebook business page yet. I do have a website, and my Instagram is really everything, and quite some reach on that.
Yeah.
So it works for now. I don't want to manage like 5 different accounts. I just don't have the time for it.
Right. And if Instagram is working for you and you're actually utilizing it, then, just keep doing that until you feel like you need to do something else. But
until I can hire someone, that would be wonderful.
Exactly.
To do a social media. Oh my Lord, it's a lot of time.
It is.
It is a job.
It is. It's totally worth hiring somebody for doing that. I will say though that, I think hopefully, I guess I should say, realtors' fears of having somebody else do it is that it won't feel like it's coming from you. But there is a way to do that to where I've seen quite a few realtors that will just text their social media person the picture and the caption, and then they handle all the posting part of it. And realtors can do that. You're in between showings. There's times where, you see something really cute or you're like, oh, that'd be a great post. So, being able to snap that, send the caption, and then have somebody else handle all of that stuff. And then the comments, of course, like making sure that somebody is keeping track of that. Yeah. Because
but you want to keep it authentic. I think that's where, like you said, I can tell, and we spoke about that with Lettely, like some agent that we know, you can tell when they transition into someone helping them out. It doesn't feel necessarily the same. So that's the challenge a little bit on that.
Yeah, and there's a balance too. You could have it be a little bit of curated content and then a little bit of, whatever you've sent them or, stuff that's going on throughout your day. But there's plenty of stuff going on in a realtor's day that you can take a quick picture of and then, talk about it. So I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I
Yeah.
actually used to use like an automated social media platform where they would just post for me automatically. And I have to say, although that was super convenient, one thing that Elisa brought up was she was like, I just saw like 2 or 3 other agents with the same post. And I'd be like, really?
Right.
You know, it was, of course, it was automated.
It's beautiful.
It looked really nice, but you know, I was definitely not getting the engagement that we're getting now because it was automated and people didn't relate to it. You know, they just couldn't.
Yeah.
So of course I cut that service off, but it was pretty helpful. You know, if you're a brand new agent and you just don't know what to post in the beginning, you need a little bit of help with it. I think sites like those are great. You know, you pay your $40 a month, a subscription, and you have like this unlimited real estate content that they post on your social media page. It's helpful, but for the fillers, I would say, you know, put your pictures in between, have your own captions in between. That way you kind of just won't get lost in that automated world.
Yeah. And I think also too, what happens is when you have an automated somebody else doing it or an automated system, there's a disconnect. You're like, okay, that's taken care of. That's over there. But social media is an interactive thing. If somebody comments, it drives me crazy when I see a realtor post something and then somebody will be like, oh, how much is that house? And then it's crickets. They don't answer. The post is like 2 weeks old. And I'm like, okay, you got to respond because it's not just about that person that asked the question. It's about everybody else who looked at you not answering the question.
Very true.
Very it gives the perception that you're not responsive. And so you don't want that for yourself. You know,
this is true.
Yeah. So you definitely want to be connected with whatever it is that you're doing. So I want to talk about, you both talked a little bit about some of the niches that you have, niche of, you know, other things that you guys have in your real estate toolkit. In your marketing, what do you do to kind of differentiate yourself or stand out from the other realtors? What else are you doing besides social media?
So besides social media, Elisa and I, we've been really hands-on with our marketing. We've been very intentional with our marketing. We've actually go door knocking on Sundays.
Okay.
We actually missed a few because of the weather.
Yeah.
Because of the weather, we've actually missed a few weekends now. But door knocking has been a thing for us where we create flyers, we put our business cards on there. You know, we advertise the neighborhoods where we've sold a property and advertise there. We've also gotten door hangers most recently. If you follow Elisa and I on our stories, not too long ago, we were in Plantation on bikes, actually.
That was fun.
Yeah, which was really fun. It was a great exercise. Trust me, I was huffing and puffing like after the first 5 minutes. Like I always complain that I need to do, you know, more exercise because, you know, thanks to COVID, I think I put on an additional 15 pounds that I probably did not need to.
Right. The COVID-19 is a whole nother thing.
I'm telling you. So yeah, we recently like went on bikes to do some door knocking and that was so much fun. I think other than the exercise, but it allows us to really get a bigger scope of the area, you know, and what's out there without being, you know, in a car. Because when you're in a car, you can't really see every single thing. You're driving fast, there's people behind you, but being on a bike, being on the sidewalk, you know, that does actually help.
That is such a good idea. And also too, realtors are in their car all the time. So all you want to do is get from point A to point B. You might look at a few houses along the way, but I love that idea of being on bike because then you really do get to kind of take it all in.
And you cover a lot of ground. I think that day that we went, we get to reach about 50 houses. Am I saying too much?
Yeah, maybe like 40 to 50 because Elisa would do like one side and then I would do the other side. Yeah, and then we take the opportunity if the neighbors happen to be outside, we try to use that opportunity to speak with them if they were, you know, willing to engage with us. So that's one big thing that we've been doing. Another thing we've been doing is mailers. I'm not mailing out postcards, but mailing out flyers that we also created ourselves at the office. We've been spending a lot of weekends at the office as a matter of fact. sometimes being there up to like 10, 11 p.m. But while we're there, Elisa like sets up the tripod and she sets up the camera. We do like a little time lapse of us sitting there and engaging and, coming up with ideas. And I think with real estate, it's constantly just looking for lead generation. And we just use all of our resources to do that. We've tried postcards. They simply just don't work. I'm sorry. I haven't really had any luck with postcards. At one point sending out like 200 to 250 postcards and like getting absolutely nothing in return. I don't know if maybe the fact that maybe because people get so many of them. I mean, I don't know, because even when I get mail, junk mail, to be honest with you, I look at it. If it's interesting, I keep it and call whoever it is. If not, I shred them.
Yeah.
But it's a big difference when you're getting an actual envelope that you have to open and you look and you kind of see, more engaging information and bright colors and a picture of someone. I think that does make like a world of a difference.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that as well. And what else do we do? Networking. Elisa was recently on a live, which I'll let her tell you all about it. Just engaging with other people, like within our community. Both of us, yes, we are French, so we're trying to tap into that market as well. So I'll turn it around to Elisa so she can tell you more about the live that she recently did and how she's engaging with our international clients.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So who'd you do? Who was the live with?
A group, the Frenchie in USA, which is actually a really large group. I find out about that. They have 24,000 followers on Facebook, which is
wow.
That was mind blowing. But he invited me to be a guest on there to just talk about my experience as an expat and connecting with a lot of French people that want to know the things to know about the States and things like that. So that was really great. And it was not necessarily real estate related, but I got a lot of engagement from that. And not only that, being able to connect with that side, which like Lettely mentioned, we were supposed to be in France right now to attend a conference, international conference.
In Paris. Yeah.
In Paris. And we were, this summer, we actually got a designation, the CIPS, I wrote it down, the Certified International Property Specialist.
Yes.
So we spent a large amount of time on that this summer. That was part of our goal to really cater to the global community. So trying to do a little thing in there. Everybody's is quarantined right now. So the live seems to work really nicely until we're able to travel and trying to develop those relationships. Canada is another one, but we really cater to everyone, but definitely want to utilize and help, Franco peers out there.
Yeah. And that is that's a narrow niche. And obviously it's, a part of your life. So that is just perfect. It's natural for you. You have the answers to questions that people are going to have. And that is an audience that is not full of realtors, I'm sure. And so I'm sure that you've developed some relationships out of that, or are going to get somebody that maybe you haven't talked to at all, but kept your information, is going to reach out later on down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, we spoke about, I have an athletic background and, a lot of people have that interest to be able to come in the country for that. So just tap into the experiences that we have and trying to tie it into together. And if they need real estate help, we are here to help. So
that's awesome.
That was cool.
It's all about make those connections as well. Elisa's really great at that. She's really good at, making connections and developing great, sincere relationships, because at the end of the day, when it comes to real estate, it's important that people are able to relate to you or see something in you that they'd like to work with you. So, she's really, really big on, building really strong relationships. And I think you can't go wrong with building a good relationship, because then the person's always going to remember you, regardless of if it's for real estate or for referring you to someone else, because they'll be comfortable knowing the person that you are. So I think that's really great that she's tapped into that.
Yeah. Now you got to stay a realtor forever, Elisa, because people like 5 years down the road are going to be like,
anywhere.
I heard you on a Facebook
let me go
group.
anywhere. I'm not
Right.
going anywhere, but yeah. And this is, something new. Like we always joke about that. Like Lettely is very more comfortable. Like something like a podcast for me is something really new, but we're getting at it. We have our strengths and differences. And that's my PR girl. Lettely is the PR.
Yeah, right.
She spoke so well. I'm still learning on that, but it's always room for improvement in everything. So yeah.
It's so funny because yesterday when I was watching her do the live, the entire live was in French. Okay, mind you, I've been here since I was 3. Elisa came here when she was 21, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
21. So when I speak French and when she speaks French, you can understand us. But sometimes I'm so embarrassed to speak French that I'm like, oh my God, I pray that no one asks me if I'm actually French. Because I think
your French is good.
She's being nice. But I'm telling you, I was watching that live and I was like, oh yeah, I hope they don't ask me to be on that live because it's not going to go well.
You will be. We have to do, she want to do a real estate one with all of that. So you're going to be on there. We're going to practice that French.
Just have to do it together so Elisa can step in for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll speak in English. I'll tell her to translate. How about that?
Right. Exactly. But that's what great partnerships are about. And I love that you guys found each other and kept that relationship going and really are able to, utilize each other's, strengths and weaknesses and being able to, that's what makes good long lasting partnerships, especially in real estate.
Absolutely.
Because it can be burnout. Backstory, they're in Florida. We did a podcast last week in the Zoom connection and a storm. It got real bad. So I'm afraid to keep going. And I feel like we're testing our reach right now and how far we can go without, before everything glitches out, we can't say goodbye. Tell us, you guys, where people can find you. And then also last time you guys gave out your phone numbers. And I really love that about realtors because sometimes, you never know who's listening, obviously. And if somebody needs a referral and your phone number is right there on the podcast, then so say it slow, don't say it fast.
Okay.
But Lettely, you first tell us where we can find you, and then Elisa, where we can find you.
Okay, no problem. So guys, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Welcome Home Foster 2020.
Nice.
And you can contact me at 954-471-0135. And my website is welcomehomefoster.com.
Okay, and what part of Florida are you in, Lettely?
We're in South Florida, so we're in the Fort Lauderdale area.
Okay, perfect. And Elisa, how do we find you?
So you guys can find me on Instagram, and I am the French realtor Elisa, Elisa, and my phone number is 786-343-4902. And I also have a website, which is www.elisa-dieme Erlich. We're gonna have to write that somewhere. Nobody can say my name.
We'll put a link in it.
ElisaDiemeErlich.com. That's my full name. So if you're able to find me on Instagram, you should get that full name.
Perfect. Good. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for having the redo.
Thank you.
And being on. I totally forget that you guys have only been realtors for 3 years. I feel like, with your knowledge together as well, the last time we did the podcast, I was surprised that you guys had only been in the real estate game for 3 years. So kudos to both of you for really, building your business and staying with it and really, putting your 110% into it. It really, really shows. And you guys are putting yourself out there and doing stuff like this. So great job. I can't wait to talk back with you guys in 10 years. I'll be really old. I can't believe
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
I was like, I'll be 60. That's crazy. But anyway.
Fine. You'll be fine.
You guys are customers, so we get to keep in touch with you. And that's the fun part, is that we get to watch your successes without you even knowing that we're not in a stalkerish way, but just in a good, fun way.
Thank you for that. You're making a world of the difference for us. Like all the goodies we get recently. Thank you. It makes everything. Mm-hmm.
You guys make us look good, to be honest with you. I mean, you really do take the stress out of our thoughts and processes in terms of just having things available. Recently, we purchased the the listing folders and the home cards, like the home anniversary card. Yeah. We're like so excited to distribute those. And it's just been so great to have you guys, and we tell everyone about you guys.
Thank you.
And we love doing it. We love doing it because I love realtors and I love watching their successes. And I mean, that's why I built this business, is that so that you guys get to be successful and have fun at it too, because not everybody, you might be a little creative, but not all the way, or you might be really creative. We have people from all over. And I think it's just so much fun to see how people utilize the same product in so many different ways. And the realtor community is always, you guys are all willing to share your information. Nothing is sacred in terms of marketing ideas and things like that. So being able to grow this business with customers like you guys is what makes it worth it and so much fun. So we thank you just as much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
All right,
thank you for having us on the podcast.
Thank you for being on, and I'll be keeping in touch.
Yes. Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks to you guys.